Franz Beckenbauer, the man who reinvented football. Part 1. The defender who refused to defend. Football once believed defenders had only one job: win the ball, clear the danger, stay at the back. For decades, that was enough. Then one man ignored every rule. He stepped out of defense. He carried the ball through midfield. He controlled matches with elegance instead of aggression. He attacked without ever forgetting how to defend. At first, people thought he was taking unnecessary risks. Before long, the rest of the world was trying to copy him. His name was Franz Beckenbauer. To millions, he became Der Kaiser. But titles and nicknames only tell part of the story. Because Franz Beckenbauer didn't simply become one of football's greatest players. He changed what a defender could be forever. This is the story of the man who reinvented football. Franz Beckenbauer was born on the 11th of September, 1945, in Munich, Germany. His childhood began just months after the end of the Second World War. Germany was rebuilding. Cities were scarred. Families searched for hope. For many young boys, football became an escape. For Franz, it became an obsession. He joined local side SC Munich 06 as a young boy, where his extraordinary talent quickly became impossible to ignore. There was something different about him. He never looked rushed. Even surrounded by opponents, he seemed to have more time than everyone else. While others relied on speed, Beckenbauer relied on intelligence. He saw passes before they appeared. He anticipated danger before it arrived. And perhaps most remarkably, he remained calm when everyone around him panicked. It was a quality that would define his entire career. At just 14 years old, he joined Bayern Munich's youth academy. At the time, Bayern were far from the global powerhouse they would later become. In fact, they weren't even the biggest club in Munich. That honor belonged to 1860 Munich. Few could have imagined that one teenage footballer would help change that forever. Beckenbauer made his first team debut in 1964. Almost immediately, something unusual became obvious. Although listed as a defender, he refused to stay in defense. Whenever Bayern won possession, he moved forward. He demanded the ball. He started attacks. Supporters watched in amazement. Opponents didn't know whether to follow him or stay in position. Without trying to invent a new role, Franz Beckenbauer was quietly creating one. The modern libero. A defender who didn't simply stop football matches. He controlled them. His composure transformed Bayern Munich. The club began climbing German football. Promotion to the Bundesliga followed. Then came domestic success. Supporters could sense something extraordinary was growing in Munich. Not just a great team, a future dynasty. And at the heart of it all was a young man who believed defending wasn't about destroying football. It was about creating it. Soon, the rest of Germany would discover what Bayern already knew. Franz Beckenbauer wasn't simply changing his club. He was about to change the game itself. By the late 1960s, Germany had discovered Franz Beckenbauer. Europe was about to. Every weekend, supporters witnessed something they had never seen before. A defender who didn't wait for the game to come to him. He controlled it. With every graceful stride out of defense, every perfectly weighted pass, every intelligent run into midfield, Beckenbauer was proving that defending could be beautiful. He wasn't breaking football's rules. He was rewriting them. Around him, Bayern Munich were becoming stronger with every season. Alongside legendary teammates such as Gerd Müller and Sepp Maier, Beckenbauer formed the spine of a team that would dominate German football for years to come. Each player had a different gift. Müller scored the goals. Maier made the impossible saves. But Beckenbauer gave the team its identity. Everything flowed through him. His calmness became Bayern's calmness. His confidence became Bayern's confidence. His vision became Bayern's future. Success quickly followed. Bayern lifted Bundesliga titles, DFB Pokals. Then came the biggest stage of them all, Europe. From 1974 to 1976, Bayern Munich achieved something almost unimaginable. They won the European Cup. 3 years in a row. Only the greatest club sides in history have managed such dominance. At the heart of every triumph stood Franz Beckenbauer. Not barking orders. Not diving into reckless tackles. Simply reading the game seconds before everyone else. Football looked effortless in his hands. That was his greatest gift. He made genius appear ordinary. His influence stretched far beyond club football. For West Germany, Beckenbauer became the symbol of a new generation. At the 1966 FIFA World Cup, he announced himself to the world with 4 goals as Germany reached the final. 4 years later, another World Cup brought another unforgettable image. The semi-final against Italy. Often called the game of the century. During extra time, Beckenbauer suffered a serious shoulder injury. Substitutions had already been used. Leaving the pitch wasn't an option. His arm was strapped tightly against his body. Most players would have disappeared from the game. Franz Beckenbauer carried on. He played through the pain. Running, passing, leading, refusing to surrender. Germany eventually lost the match. But Beckenbauer's courage became one of football's defining images. It wasn't just talent that made him extraordinary. It was character. 4 years later, destiny offered another chance. The 1974 FIFA World Cup. On home soil. As captain. With the entire nation watching. This time, Franz Beckenbauer wasn't prepared to let history slip away. The man who had reinvented football was about to reach its greatest summit. The 1974 FIFA World Cup Final. West Germany. The Netherlands. 2 footballing philosophies collided. One would change the future. The other would define it. Before many German players had even touched the ball, the Netherlands were awarded a penalty. Johan Neeskens converted. West Germany were behind. Their own supporters fell silent. The dream of lifting the World Cup on home soil was slipping away before it had truly begun. But great captains don't panic. They respond. Franz Beckenbauer gathered his teammates. He demanded belief. He demanded composure. Most importantly, he demanded courage. West Germany fought back. Paul Breitner equalized from a penalty spot. Then Gerd Müller scored the decisive goal. When the final whistle sounded, Franz Beckenbauer lifted the FIFA World Cup as captain. The greatest prize in football. Not because he was the loudest player on the pitch, but because he had been its calmest leader. His playing career continued to break new ground. After conquering Europe with Bayern Munich, Beckenbauer took football to new audiences with the New York Cosmos in the North American Soccer League. Alongside global stars such as Pelé, he helped raise the profile of football in the United States during a crucial period in the sport's growth. He later returned to Germany with Hamburger SV, adding another Bundesliga title before bringing an extraordinary playing career to a close. Wherever he played, he elevated the people around him. That was the mark of true greatness. Retirement didn't end his influence. It simply began a new chapter. In 1984, Franz Beckenbauer became manager of West Germany. Many questioned whether one of football's greatest players could become a great coach. He answered them 4 years later. At the 1986 World Cup, Germany reached the final. They fell just short against Diego Maradona's Argentina. Most managers would have accepted defeat. Beckenbauer didn't. He rebuilt. He learned. He returned. And in 1990, history repeated itself. West Germany defeated Argentina to become world champions. Franz Beckenbauer had now achieved something almost impossible. He had won the FIFA World Cup. As both captain and manager. A feat accomplished by only a select few in football history. His honors are almost impossible to list in full. Multiple Bundesliga titles. 3 consecutive European Cups. A UEFA European Championship. A FIFA World Cup as a player. A FIFA World Cup as a manager. Ballon d'Or winner. FIFA World Cup All-Star selections. Countless individual honors. Yet none of them fully explain why Franz Beckenbauer remains one of football's most influential figures. Because trophies can be matched. Records can be broken. Styles of play evolve. But true innovators are remembered forever. Before Beckenbauer, defenders won possession and gave the ball away. After Beckenbauer, the world's greatest defenders became its greatest playmakers. From Franco Baresi to Ronald Koeman to Paolo Maldini. Rio Ferdinand. to today's ball-playing centre-backs. The fingerprints of Franz Beckenbauer can still be seen across world football. Some legends dominate their generation. Others inspire the next one. Franz Beckenbauer did something even greater. He changed the way football itself was played. That is why his legacy will never fade. He wasn't simply der Kaiser. He wasn't simply one of Germany's greatest players. He was the man who reinvented football. A true footballing icon.